here's a setup for another month. I think this may be the last month that I show you. I can only like give new information each time, and you know, there's only so much that is helpful and useful. First, start off with some prep work that I do when I am working on the budget for the month. Lately, I have just been doing these printable monthly planners, kind of basing it off of cheat meals and stuff that I know that I need to use up. Next month for March, what I plan on doing is trying to like meal prep ahead as much as possible for the month, and then kind of just eating it off of that way and seeing how much money we can save. So that will be coming next month, and maybe that's one that I'll do with you with a quick of maybe a summary budget rather than like a walkthrough budget. I have done in the past where I have just one budget with all the meals that we really enjoy, and then we just use that menu every month. That works out really well, except for the fact that a lot of what I have based these meals on is stuff that I have in my freezer from stuff that I picked up at the discount grocery store. That those are the kinds of things that you may or may not be able to find. So that's one reason why I've been doing it this way. And two, if I have a little bit more money, I'm going to throw in a little bit higher quality meals. And if I think we're going to have a little bit less money, I want to throw in some lower quality meals. It'll also depend on monthly goals that I have. So for February, some of the monthly goals that I'm trying to do is kind of set aside as much of a nest egg as I can for some housework that we're going to do. We're going to build another wall and create a third bedroom in our house, and that third bedroom will be my bedroom, and I kind of really want that to happen. So I kind of want to make sure that there's all that money available for my husband for anything he needs to do. Lumber has shot up since COVID. I think my husband calculated that it was triple the cost, or some lumber went up triple the cost. And he found a good batch of wood that had come in, whereas some of them aren't, they're kind of like a lower quality. So you kind of want a higher quality for, you know, construction work, whereas a lower quality would be better for like garden beds or, you know, small things like that. So because of that, I want to make sure that I have that money just set aside for him. So that's why we're still going to try to eat as small and simple as we can this month, and then so he can have that little nest egg ready for whatever he needs. Okay, so I made our monthly menu, and tomorrow when I go grocery shopping, I'm filming this the 3rd, and I'll be grocery shopping the 4th, and you'll see this the 8th or the 9th. You'll see these one of these days. I'm not sure how this film is going to go up. But anyway, I kind of want to shop for 2 weeks and carry us all the way to the 18th. We're expecting a big snowstorm, and I want to make sure that I am well prepared. So, without further ado, let's kind of get into, here is my menu that I have, or I'm sorry, my shopping list, and kind of looking at deals that may be worthwhile. And then this is the other thing that I want to talk about this month. Whenever I would have leftover cash in my wallet or my husband, I asked for it and I put it in here during the whole month of January. And when we cashed out on Ibotta, I put the cash in here, as well as if I sold anything through Facebook, I would also put that cash in here. So in here we have about $49 worth, and this is just money that at the end of every week, if there's extra cash, I'm just putting it in this envelope, and then at the end of the month, or I'm sorry, at the end of the year, the accumulated extra cash can be used for whatever it is that comes up. I was thinking Christmas, but we know what happened last year with Christmas and trying to put money aside. So if you're looking for cash like challenges, this is one that I have decided to do, and I think this will work out best for our budget. Okay, now for budget and totals. Let's see if you can see. I'll probably zoom in a little bit here. We'll start with this one. And last month was a little unique insofar as what my husband did for work. He worked 3 weeks, and one of those weeks was a Saturday. He also worked overtime that 1 week. So we have one paycheck that's like the equivalent of 2 weeks' paychecks, which is phenomenal. And then last week, our last paycheck that we have, he decided to start, or he went back to school, and then he decided to work half days on Wednesday just to give us a little bit of a buffer. So what that looked like last month for totals was this amount. And when you add all of these together, you get, when we were back in California, my husband made a salary of $500 a week. And you know, some months you get an extra paycheck of $500. So we would have $2,500 in a month. So this is like a good California month on an Indiana cost of living. So this is really wonderful. And again, the last paycheck that we got, which kind of gives us an idea of what our what we can look forward to for paychecks, was kind of eye-opening for next month. Now let's do my total income. We actually have 2 weeks of babysitting here and then 2 more babysitting weeks. This is what I earned last month from Amazon affiliates for December. So that's my big amount that I earned in December. This is my virtual assistant job. This is the kid that I teach for school. This is my other virtual assistant job. And this is from all of you watching YouTube. Muchas gracias, people. So we're going to add all of those together and we'll put that total over here. And there we go. Now, I'll be honest, this was a pretty average amount of what we would earn back in California every month when I was working and when my husband was making, you know, let's say a 5 months or a 5-week paycheck. But we were paying $800 a month in rent. And so our mortgage is only $500. So technically we have $300 more in our pockets than we had before. But we have a few more costs here. Now, the reason I mentioned this is because back in California, when I had that extra income earning, honestly, it was just kind of, you know, $728 was, you know, groceries. We were spending about $800 a month on groceries, a lot of times going over that. And other times, you know, it was just like, oh, you want another book to read? Okay, let me pick it up. Okay, you want another outfit to wear? Okay, we'll just pick it up. And now it's like, you know, this is going to affect us if we start looking at things differently. So honestly, like this number, if I didn't think about all of those things, it would be easy for me to get very lax in our budget. But I can't. I can't, because then it starts a spiral effect that, again, starts putting us more in the red than in the black. And so I just kind of wanted to, this number looks really high right now, but to be honest, it goes so fast. And that is my caution to all of you that follow these videos and maybe are encouraged and then have more income coming in and whatnot. It's so easy to start getting lax. But it's kind of like when you are working out and you're trying to lose those 10 pounds that you've been working so hard to do it, and finally 20 pounds, finally they're gone. You're not just going to want to start going back to your old habits, right? No, you want to keep being consistent. You may not have to work as hard because you don't need to lose as many pounds, unless you're me, then you have a lot more pounds to lose. But you're going to want to go into a maintenance mode. And so again, this is, you know, why I'm going to do this video, because I really wanted to show that. I may do one more month just to kind of show how we go back down to another amount, and then, but we'll see. I kind of showed that last month, so I don't want to keep, you know, I don't want to just give information with no real help involved in it, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we have this total amount. And we need to do our tithe. Okay, we're going to say, I like even numbers. Okay, last month it was $60 a month, but we had 5 weeks that we had to spread it out with. So that's something to remember. What was last month? Last month was $300, and we spread it out over the course of 5 weeks. We have $320, and we're going to spread it out over 4 weeks. Okay, our mortgage is still the same. At this point, I'm not going to add any more onto mortgage until I have the okay from my husband. As of editing this video, I am happy to report that I was able to make a mortgage payment of $1,000, which included last month's set-aside income and this month's. However, I still am putting all the extra I can aside for him when he decides that he wants to do that, if he wants to do that. Our water and sewer this month was our electricity. We used the last of our credit, and so that was 1107. NIPSCO. 6896. Internet. The internet went up, so I want to make sure that I have this written correctly. Yes, so we've been paying $53, and it has gone up to $56, and supposedly we're going to start paying even a lot more than that. We're looking at an extra $30 a month charge. If anybody's heard about that from Comcast Infinity, please let me know down below. And I don't know what other options we have out here, so I need to start researching that, because I don't want to pay an extra $30 a month. I think I'll go to the coffee shop once a week or something, because that's crazy. Okay, so we have some kind of we got some kind of thing that now says we don't pay as much on our cars. We need to figure out why. But instead of paying $70.50 that we were every month, we went down to $53.90. So that's pretty cool. And then for our house insurance, my husband says we don't pay that till the end of February because we didn't move here until March 1st, or February 29th to be exact. So, and I'm just going to put property tax, $135. But this is a sinking fund. So now we have total, let's see. So now that's how I'm doing the sinking funds. Now I know that we have for property tax saved in our checking account, set aside for that, $270. Alright, so now, again, like I do every month, let me zoom out a bit. Now, like I do every month, I'm going to take these numbers and tally them up. And then I need to subtract this from tithing and from our total here. All right. I am so amazed that it just goes so far. Well, I have been spending all week trying to salvage the footage I took, and well, it's not going to work. So I have half of today's video done, and we're just going to try to pick it up from here. I have all of this filled out, and already we have a couple of paychecks in here. But yeah, so let's just kind of continue on as much as we can. I was also trying to keep track of what I had spent, but honestly, that's one of my words for the year is discipline, and I'm trying to be better disciplined about things like this, things that I want to keep track of, and all of that kind of thing. So, I fell off the wagon way too much. We have everything filled out. There's after all of this, we calculated that so far between this and our tithing, we had spent $1,807, and then we moved $500 of this into our mortgage fund, which is $1,000, and I did make a mortgage payment. So the money from last month and this month has now been made towards our mortgage. So that is now canceled. You can go back and check any of my other videos if you're kind of confused on what's going on here. Groceries. I was thinking because it's a shorter month and because just how everything fall, we had a pretty good meal plan and all this stuff. I really was like, okay, we're just going to keep groceries at $500, and I'm going to try to shop like twice a month instead of every week. Well, our grocery took us over. I have not edited that video. Everything is behind this week. I am filming today, the 12th, and I'm hoping to get this up today. We went over our groceries, and yesterday I took $100 out of our paycheck money here, and I went to the store and got gas. So it was more like $80 that I spent, and I did not film that. I had a migraine yesterday, and it was everything I could do just to go there and back. So needless to say, like, filming this week has been almost non-existent. I don't have any footage for the meals we ate and all of that. So I ask your pardon, especially if you are a consistent viewer and like to watch these things. They're just not going to happen this week. And today I'm feeling a lot better. I think I was just fighting something. My hormones are all whacked out right now. So we're back on track. And we're just going to continue moving on. I've already pulled out an extra amount of money that I hadn't budgeted for. Now there is the cash for it, but we just have not budgeted for it. So I'm going to pull up those numbers again. That's where we were here, minus our $500 that I paid the mortgage off. Oops, I need to. So we're at $1,307 right now. And now we're going to start filling these in. So again, for groceries, I put $500. We've already used about $600 of that. So I'm going to make that adjustment. Gas stays the same. Now, household projects. Again, we really want to build up this wall in my bedroom. And so I just told my husband that there's $250 in checking that he can pull out and use to purchase whatever he needs to. But this week has been like tests for him and new lessons going in, and now he's got to learn how to write a sermon. So I don't know when this is going to happen. You know, life and all that. So we're going to move on to the next category after that. You know what? I forgot to write 180. And the next so that was $250 that we have set aside. Now, blessings. How I describe that is we had been blessed so much the last couple of months by family and friends and viewers, and I am adamant about passing that blessing on, like using what we have. Now we have a little bit more wiggle room, and it is so important to me to kind of pass that on. So this just was a budgeted amount that we could start doing things for others and have that cushion in there to do so. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to put an amount in, but it will be within the budget. The April trip. So my husband has to go to a pastor's conference in April. And it would be about $250 for him to take to the conference. And the reason I put such a high amount in there is at this time, as a student, he is able to go with the pastor who is also like the professor of the college, of the seminary school, I should say, and he is able to kind of tag along with him. The other thing is that typically the congregation pays for the pastor to do this. If they want the pastor to go to the conference, they pay for him to do it. Again, as I've said with other videos, our congregations typically are comprised of a lot of senior citizens, low income, that are just barely making it. If we have a good Sunday, we have about 7 families in the church. So again, it's just something that I don't want to count on. And my husband made a good point. He's like, whatever money we don't use, we're going to put towards this convention. What we're planning for this one, whatever my husband doesn't use for this trip, will go towards the convention that is coming up in July. And so we kind of need to save for that for Airbnbs and food and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to actually add all of this up now and double check my figures, and then I will be back and give you an update. Really glad I double checked those numbers, because doing this twice over, there's actually $197.07 left over. So now we're going to start keeping track of the leftover. I'm just going to make a note up here. Pretty sure that's what it was. Okay. So now I know that next month, if we're a little bit short, we have a little bit of wiggle room with this amount. And that is going to help us, especially once we have this. And actually, it's a little bit lower than that, but I'm not going to put this here. I'll erase it later again after I do this empty one here. All right. Handled crisis. So next month we're going to have this, and I am assuming it is going to be about $75–100. And then we have this amount still to be filled. So I don't expect... Okay, let's try to put my thoughts back together here. So yes, I have a leftover of $197.07, and that will go into the next month, especially because next month we will have an extra bill to pay. So, again, I hope this gives you an idea of what budgets can look like in a broad way of how this can move from month to month to month. Again, my husband's first paycheck was $387.41, which is a significant difference from that. So I do expect a lower amount next month. And it just keeps, you know, this will just keep playing out and being, I'm trying to think of the right word of what I want to use, but I am grateful. Oh, and actually, I got a payment the other day. Oh my goodness, okay. Whew, I'm determined to get this video filmed for you guys. Okay, so I got another payment the other day, so I need to make sure that I record that, because I just realized, wait a minute, I have another check that arrived, or anyway, payment. Blah. All right, so here is our budget for another month. It's a little bit more tricky to kind of figure these out, but you know, our bills still aren't even predictable. You're not going to get a electricity bill of $145.37 every single month. I think sometimes with a consistent budget of, hey, this is how it is and this is how we're going to make it work, sometimes we can get stuck in those little tiny details. So, and then when we have more money, like this month we had a little bit more money, I was like, okay, because of that we need to start planning for this, and then we don't have to take it out of, you know, like tax return if we were to get one this year. Again, I'm not sure what to expect because of all the stimulus stuff and all of that. So because of that, and then this one is a high, you know, a high amount there. So if next month we're short, I know that, hey, you know what, this is going to have to be canceled right now because we need grocery money. So it's there if my husband needs it, and if he uses any of it, I can make little notes over here of how much we have used. And so next month, if I'm like, oh yeah, we need a little bit more money, then I can basically, cancel Peter to pay Paul, make things work, and this is what I've done. And Yep, so on and so forth. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. As always, I don't know if I'll make another one. Leave in the comments down below if this is a helpful series for you, and if you want to see anything else, if you like to watch, for me, I find things like this always motivating and encouraging, just to see that number go down. I'll show you here just in a second my little printable that I have, and it just makes me so happy. And again, as I have money, I have other things that I really want to save for, and I put those up on my wall as motivators as well, especially above my computer, because the other night I was looking at books I want. I'm like, wait a minute, no, I'm not supposed to be doing this, and kind of shut the lid down on my laptop, and I was able to see my goals, and that was just a fantastic reminder to me of what I am trying to go for. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you here shortly with another video. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Click the subscribe if you would like to see more. Give this video a thumbs up if this is the kind of content that is helpful to you. And bye. This one is it's not really a debt-free one. It's actually for a car. If something were to happen to our car, then I know that there is money aside for this.